Hey y'all, it's Lae'Visia Rivers, and it's time again for the edition of Sunday Sins. Now listen, I want to start out by saying if this comes to you at a touchy or tender time, I apologize. And I ask you to not discard it, but to save it for a couple weeks until you're at a better place in your life and to watch it because you may have seen these things unravel at the touchy and tender time in your life. So now for Sunday Sins, I want to talk about funeral etiquette. Now get ready. If you are one of these people who looks at the Virginia Mountaineer, The Voice, the Bristol Herald Courier, the Bluefield Daily Telegraph, the Pikeville newspaper, any other newspaper that's from your community, whether it be from California, Colorado, Kingsport, or any place else big in the world, the New York Times or whatever else, and you try to find somewhere to go on an evening during the week by looking at the obituary page, you are committing a sin. That is no reason to find a place to go, okay? If you just think, well, I might have known them. I might have went to school with them in the second grade, or I might have known her third cousin's mommy's sister-in-law's housekeeper, so I might as well go on to the funeral home just to see what I can see, okay? That ain't no reason to go on to the funeral home. But if you can go and pay your respects and be respectful, then go on and do what you need to do, okay? If that's what you need to do to have a good time, that's a good idea. But listen, Grundy Funeral Home or the Shortwood Ramey's Funeral Home or the Virginia Funeral Home or whatever funeral home you have in your hometown is not a pickup joint, okay? So don't go and think that you're going to lounge around the lobby and try to find you the next husband, okay? Don't do that. That's wrong, honey. Go and get pretty and go and pay your respects, but don't go in there and think, oh, there's some man, honey, maybe his woman just laid out dead a few weeks ago. Maybe I'll pick him up. Hello, how are you doing? Don't do that. That's the wrong reason to go, and that is a sin, okay? If you go into the funeral home and you go in there and you sign the book and you walk around, you say hello a few times and everything. Let me just stop for a minute. Now listen, where I come from, funerals is a little bit different. They get drug out 2 or 3 days, and we tend to over exalt them and make them a long drawn out process. And in the city, it's just like you spend about 45 minutes. You put them in the back of a Cadillac and drive them off a cemetery and have a little meal, and then you're done with it, honey. We definitely like to just give our dead just all their due, and I love that. I love all of our traditions, honey. I love our music. Honey, listen. You can holler over me for 3 or 4 days. I love it. I love it. I love every bit of it. So listen, I love all the pomp. I love all the circumstance. And you better know, anybody in my family, when you get ready, you better get ready to come. And you better pack your lunch, as Anita would say, because it's going to be a long, drawn-out process, because that's what I like, honey. But in that process, listen, when you come to the funeral home and you're going to see things, in the South, it's a little bit different. But if you come to that funeral home and you're marching through, you've signed the book, and in the back of your mind or to your neighbor, you say, Lord, they must not have had no money. They didn't put them away worth nothing. Did you see that casket? They didn't spend not a bit of money. They must not have had not a dollar. If you're thinking like that, you're thinking wrong, and that's a Sunday sin, a Monday sin, a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday sin. So shame on you. So don't be thinking like that. For all you know, maybe that's all Herb or Della Jean wanted, honey, okay? It was just a little old simple casket, honey, because they've got a mansion on a city somewhere else, okay? So maybe they didn't want a big old fine bronze casket, okay? So there's that. Now, if you're marching around looking at the flares, and you see somebody that's sent a $25 dish card, and you go, oh my God, did you see what such and such sent? My God, they got all kinds of money. All they sent was that little thing. Or you say, Lord, Mommy had a lot more flowers sent than they did. You can't compare. You don't need to be comparing like that. If you come to a funeral home to compare, forget it. Go on home. Get back in your car and go back to wherever it is you come from, okay? Because that is the wrong reason that you were there at the funeral home, okay? It is not a comparison. It is not a contest, okay? Not everybody can send the big flashy things, them fiber optic angels and them tacky quilts to the funeral home, okay? Some people don't like those things, okay? So listen, don't do that. Don't, also, with that in mind, there's some of you people that are just mean enough to think, God, that flower arrangement looks better than the one I sent. If I catch you ever switching cards out, I'll call you out right there in the funeral home. Lord, don't do that. That is wrong. So do not change those out. Also, the day of the funeral, usually in the South, someone will continue to sing and everybody will march through and speak to the family one last time. If you linger around on the back row thinking you're going to see somebody crying hard or taking a little bit of a fit as they're getting ready to leave the immediate family, if you linger around on that back row and I'm there, I will haul you out and make you leave, okay? Don't do that. Be respectful. Get on up and leave like everybody else, okay? Don't just stand around and peep around thinking you're going to see something you need to see, because you don't need to see nothing like that. That's wrong. But the last person I want to talk about is the preachers. Now, we love our ministers. We love our people of God. We're so glad to have them, honey. You pray for us. You get us through some tough times. But, honey, don't preach us into heaven and don't preach us into hell. And don't make me cry. So, honey, don't get up there and start going, oh, what are you going to do when you get home, honey? Ain't nobody to cook you eggs. Oh, God, what are you going to do when you get home? And his boots is sitting on the porch. Ain't nobody to tie him up and go nowhere with. Because all that kind of stuff makes me cry, makes me upset. I ain't just preach about him being a good man and a good woman, but honey, don't try to make me upset about him being dead. Just talk about the good life. And one last thing. Anita don't like them blooper reels. It's what we call them, blooper reels. They make her cry, honey. But I love them. So, honey, do beautiful, fantastic, wonderful, happy pictures. But don't take no pictures in front of nobody at the funeral home, okay? If you need to take pictures of your loved ones that have recently departed, do that in private before everybody gets there, okay? But listen, if you've sinned at the funeral home, such as, trying to use it as a singles joint, you've judged or compared the flowers in the caskets. You've stuck around longer than you needed to. You've talked about the preachers. You've talked about other people at the funeral home. Shame on you, and try not to do it next time. So the next time that you are zipping up your little black dress to head on down to the funeral home on a Tuesday evening, think about the things Lae'Visia has told you, and you won't be a sinner. So go there, pay your respects, love on your people, and know next time it could be knocking at your door, and you sure don't want anybody doing those things at your funeral home or at your funeral, okay? So Lae'Visia Rivers loves you, and listen, I'm headed to Las Vegas this week, and you know the things I'm going to do, Yins is going to want to watch, because it's going to be fun. So I love Yins, and I'll see you soon.